Good evening and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Again, I'm Kenneth Saulog from Manila Doctors Hospital, and we present a case of JM, 59-year-old Filipino male with a 10-month history of epiphora. Patient was initially diagnosed to have pterygium until 5 months prior to consult. Patient had persistent epiphora associated with foreign body sensation and a non-tender, gradually enlarging mass at the left medial canthus. Patient was then requested with incision biopsy. Past medical history revealed diabetes, and patient worked as a farmer for 40 years and has 57 smoking pack years. On examination, visual acuity is 20/30 for both eyes. An excellent exam showed bilateral dermatochalasis and lag of thalamus on the left eye, while the rest of the anterior and posterior segment findings were unremarkable. On palpation, there's a 3 by 3 centimeter firm, fixed, regular nodular mass extending superior to the left medial canthus. Lacrimal apparatus irrigation showed lower canalicular obstruction, and the upper punctum was not appreciated. General physical examination was unremarkable and no palpable lymphadenopathy was noted. So here again are the salient features of our patient. And based on the history presented in initial examination, what is your main consideration at this point? Infection, inflammation, benign or malignant tumor. So when presented with a mass, it is important to consider both neoplastic and non-neoplastic causes. Under non-neoplastic diseases are infectious and inflammatory process. However, these are unlikely because of the duration of the symptoms and the patient did not experience any fever, pain, and tenderness on the affected part. Under neoplastic causes, we cannot totally rule out a benign tumor. However, due to the risk factors such as old age, smoking history, and exposure to UV, there is a high index of suspicion for a malignant neoplasm. Going further, plain cranial CT scan showed a 2 by 2 by 2 centimeter well-defined extraconal nodule arising from the left inferomedial canthal region with intact bony walls. Incision biopsy revealed a poorly differentiated malignant skin adnexal tumor of the left caruncle. So this leads me to my next question. What is the most common malignancy arising from the caruncle? Squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, or sebaceous gland carcinoma? So the word caruncle comes from the Latin word caro, meaning flesh, because it is a soft, pink, ovoid body situated in the lacus lacrimalis, medial to the plica semilunaris. Lesions of the caruncle are uncommon on account of the fact that caruncle harbors skin elements such as hair follicles, sebaceous glands, sweat glands, and accessory lacrimal tissue. The lesions developing from the caruncle are very diverse, making their clinical diagnosis very difficult. In fact, in an initial journal published by Shields et al., out of 57 cases included in the study, only 5% were malignant tumors. They reported cases of basal cell and squamous cell carcinoma. However, no reported cases of sebaceous gland carcinoma in the study. Now, going to the surgery, we did wide excision of the mass with 3 mm tumor-free margin, with full thickness repair of the left upper and left lower eyelid. And an immediate study of the frozen section of the margin revealed negative for tumor cells. So this is how it looks like after the removal of the mass. Then we performed lateral canthotomy and lateral cantholysis, shown in red dashed line. This is done in order to relax the lid margin so we can reposition them medially. We then sutured it to the medial orbital wall periosteum. For the upper eyelid reconstruction, we used free tarsoconjunctival graft from the same side. Then we repaired the anterior lamellae using the upper lid of the upper lid using a myocutaneous flap. And then finally, dehydrated amniotic membrane graft was placed to prevent post-op adhesion. So these are the photos before, immediately after the surgery, and 1 week post-surgery. The last photo is showing good wound healing, no noted infection, and no signs of graft failure. Patient was then advised to undergo radiotherapy for skipped lesions. Regular follow-up was done to monitor tumor recurrence and appearance of lymphadenopathy. The gross specimen measures 3 by 3 by 2 centimeters, and on histopathology, you would see irregular lobules, sheets of poorly differentiated tumor cells without squamous or glandular differentiation. On higher magnification, you would note of tumor cells that have large vesicular nuclei, scattered atypical mitosis, and scanty cytoplasm. There was no lymphovascular space invasion. For our final histopathologic diagnosis, poorly differentiated sebaceous gland carcinoma of the caruncle left. So for the discussion, sebaceous gland carcinoma is a highly malignant neoplasm that may arise from the meibomian glands, glands of Zeiss, and sebaceous glands. They present as a slowly enlarging painless nodule mistaken as a benign inflammatory lesion such as pterygium, chalation, blepharitis, and conjunctivitis. It is generally seen in older individuals with mean age of diagnosis from 6th to 7th decade of life. However, they may present in younger patients if they have a history of ocular ionizing radiation therapy. Most studies found a female predominance and a well-known higher incidence among Asians. So the most common initial location is in the upper eyelid with a 74% occurrence, but they are very rare to be found in the bulbar conjunctiva and the caruncle. So sebaceous gland carcinoma is considered as an aggressive tumor with a tendency for local recurrence and distant metastasis. It has a 5-year tumor mortality of 22%, and for the management, wide local excision is still the mainstay treatment. Excenteration may be done for large, deeply invasive lesions and for those with significant bulbar conjunctival involvement. So in summary, sebaceous gland carcinoma of the caruncle is rare, and it is a great masquerader resulting in delayed diagnosis and management. Therefore, it is prudent to rule out malignancy in patients presenting with progressively enlarging medial canthal lesion. This ends my report. Thank you very much. Dziękuję bardzo. Here are my references and acknowledgement. And my final diagnosis is poorly differentiated sebaceous gland carcinoma of the caruncle left.